Welcome to Reddit Echoes, where everyday stories, deep conflicts, and long-hidden secrets are revealed in the most honest way possible. Here, we don't just listen to stories, we feel every heartbeat, every wound, and every surprise that life brings, shared by the very people who lived through them. Each video is a journey into the real world of humanity, filled with humor, heartache, bitterness, and shocking, unforgettable moments. If you're looking for stories that make you empathize, reflect, or simply entertain you, but with depth, you've come to the right place. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss the latest real and emotional stories that we'll share. Now let's start the journey with the first story of today's video. Story 1. My girlfriend stole my prosthetic leg and the price I had to pay. My name is Nam, 24 years old. Over 2 years ago, my life changed completely after a severe car accident that led to the amputation of my left leg just below the knee. Everything seemed to fall apart at that moment. My love for sports, the adventurous trips with my friends, the active games, it all seemed like it would end there. But I didn't give up. With the support of my family, I was fitted with a prosthetic leg. The first prosthetic was a huge turning point, helping me stand up, run again, reconnect with my friends, and continue our annual trips that we always maintained. It felt like a miracle. Recently, my friends decided to organize a weekend trip in an RV, a real getaway to escape the pressures of work and life. Everyone had made detailed plans, choosing the destination and getting everything ready. When I told my girlfriend about the trip, she asked if she could join, but I firmly refused. This was a guys-only trip, and I wanted to keep the privacy and relaxed vibe of hanging out with the guys without a girlfriend interrupting. She laughed at me, saying it was just an excuse. Then she started saying that she felt suffocated, trapped at home 24/7, and really needed a trip to relieve some stress. But I had made up my mind, and I wasn't changing it. I promised that I would make it up to her with another trip once I got back, but she was unhappy with that promise. That night, like every night, I took off my prosthetic leg and placed it by the bed to rest. This was my second prosthetic, as in the first year after the accident, my body had changed a lot, and it needed adjustments. The next morning, I woke up and couldn't find my prosthetic leg anywhere. I searched everywhere and asked my girlfriend, but she said she hadn't seen it. I was confused and asked her directly if she had hidden it. At first, she denied it, but I wasn't convinced. Finally, she admitted that she had hidden it. The reason she didn't want me to go on the trip with my friends and wanted me to spend time with her instead. I was furious, but tried to remain calm. Then I found my prosthetic leg in the garage under a car part. I was stunned when I saw it had been severely damaged. A deep crack in the body of the leg, clearly unable to bear my body weight anymore. Even though I could still wear it, placing my full weight on it would cause it to break completely. I yelled at her, showing her the seriousness of the situation. She said she didn't mean to, just being childish and jealous. But I knew she did it on purpose. A reckless, selfish act that hurt me not only physically but emotionally as well. I made it clear that she had destroyed a $7,000 asset, the money my family had saved up for a new prosthetic leg. I demanded that she take responsibility and pay at least half. That made her angry, and she cursed at me before storming off. I was forced to use my old crutches again, feeling terrible and helpless. I called my friends, telling them I wouldn't be able to go. I felt deeply betrayed. The relationship that was already strained now felt even more broken. A few days later, I had to call my parents and tell them everything. They were furious and agreed with me that my girlfriend should pay at least half the cost of the new prosthetic. My parents also advised me to think carefully about this relationship. They said that a jealous, selfish girlfriend who is willing to sabotage like that isn't someone worth keeping around. Now I'm stuck between two tough choices: continue holding on to this relationship or end it to preserve my self-respect and dignity. I'm not sure if I'm in the wrong for asking my girlfriend to pay, but I'm certain that what she did was wrong and deserving of criticism. If you're watching and think I'm the bad guy, try putting yourself in my shoes. What would you do if your partner destroyed a part of your body and your future, just for a trip? I want to ask you all. Am I being too rigid by asking my girlfriend to pay? Has anyone ever gone through something similar? If it were you, how would you handle this situation? I'd really appreciate any honest feedback and advice from you. Thanks for listening to my story. Story 2. My new wife threw away my memorial tapes with my late wife, my nightmare and my daughter's pain. My name is Hui. I'm 38 years old. I want to share with you a story that I still can't shake off even more than a week after it happened. First, to give you some context, I once had an amazing wife named Chloe. We met in college, got married, and had a daughter named Eleanor. When Chloe was pregnant, we were both incredibly happy, and we filmed every moment, every smile, and every memorable second of her pregnancy to give to Eleanor when she grew up. We made a special pact we would keep those tapes private and only show Eleanor on her 18th birthday as a precious gift from her mother, whom she would never meet and whose voice she would never hear. But then tragedy struck when Eleanor was only 2 years old. Chloe passed away in a car accident caused by a drunk driver. I felt like a lost soul, devastated and hopeless. I had to raise my daughter alone in the absence of her mother. As time passed, I kept the tapes safe, stored them carefully in a box in my closet, and considered them an invaluable spiritual treasure. Whenever I thought about Chloe, I would pull them out and watch, feeling as though she was still with us. Then a few years ago, when Eleanor was still young, I met Wendy. She was also divorced and had 2 kids. We quickly became close and married after 2 years of getting to know each other. Wendy always said she had no problem with me still loving my past and my late wife, though she occasionally felt jealous. I tried to reassure her that I loved her in my own way and that I wasn't comparing. But I realized Wendy carried some unspoken feelings inside. 1 week before Eleanor's birthday, I reminded Wendy about the plan to show our daughter the memorial tapes of her mother, and she seemed uncomfortable. But I thought it was just a normal reaction and didn't want to put pressure on her. Then the other day, when I went to organize and pack the tapes better, I discovered that the box was missing. I searched everywhere and finally asked Wendy, and she casually said I threw them away. The first feeling was pure shock. My heart felt like it was being squeezed. Those tapes weren't just memories, they were the only connection between my daughter and her mother. I couldn't believe she could do this without consulting me. When I asked why Wendy said that, I talked too much about Chloe that I needed to forget the past and live in the present. I was furious, feeling deeply betrayed. We had a huge argument. I couldn't control my emotions and even cried in our private room. A few days later, I kept trying to calm myself and searched for any way to find the tapes again, or at least other footage of Chloe to make up for it with Eleanor. My daughter still didn't fully understand what happened, but sometimes she cried and asked about her mom, about things that only those tapes could tell her. Friends and family kept messaging me, advising me to forgive Wendy and reconcile. They said it had been a long time and I should move on and let go of the past. But you know what? Those people have never lost a loved one. They've never had to preserve the memory of a mother for an orphaned child. I stand between 2 worlds, between a new love and memories I can't erase, between forgiveness and pain. The biggest question right now is, can I forgive her? Can I accept that she destroyed the most sacred thing to me and my daughter? I'm sharing this story not to spark controversy, but to reach out to those in similar situations, those who are struggling with loss and the challenges of love. I'd greatly appreciate any advice, insights, or shared experiences from you on how to overcome this and rebuild trust. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like and subscribe to Reddit Echoes for more real-life heartfelt stories. Story 3. The Haunted Coffee Table and My Hilarious Experience. My name is Min. I'm 29 years old, and today I want to share a story that always makes me laugh whenever I think about it. The story of my haunted coffee table at home. It all started one evening when I hosted a small party at my apartment. Just a few close friends, some drinks, music, and a very relaxed atmosphere. Everything was going great until my friend Kayla, a 23-year-old girl, had a little mishap. She seemed to have had a bit too much to drink, and while moving around for some reason, she tripped over thin air and face-planted right into the glass coffee table in my living room. Luckily, the table didn't break, but she ended up with a large bruise on her forehead and a slight dizziness. My friends and I immediately helped her apply some ice and reassured her. We thought it was just a minor incident, but from that day forward, Kayla began to believe that my coffee table was haunted. She said that the sensation of tripping wasn't just her losing balance, but that some invisible force pushed her into the table. Whenever she got close to the table, she felt a chill down her spine, and an overwhelming negative energy filled the room. The situation got even stranger when she dragged our friend Ryan, another mutual friend, to stand next to the table to feel the ghostly energy. Ryan didn't feel anything unusual, just a regular table like any other. But Kayla wouldn't back down. She was adamant that I needed to get rid of the table immediately, or else she wouldn't come to my place again. She even insisted that keeping the table was inviting bad luck and chaos into the house, and that it wouldn't bring peace. I loved that table. Not only did it perfectly match my home decor, but it was also pretty expensive. More importantly, it had never caused any harm other than Kayla's little mishap. I tried to explain to her that her fall was simply because she drank too much and that the table wasn't at fault. I couldn't just throw away my favorite item because of one accident. But she got upset, saying that I didn't respect her feelings and that I chose the table over our friendship. After that, we started to distance ourselves, communicating less and less. I felt like she was being unreasonable, and she felt like I lacked understanding. Some of our mutual friends suggested selling the table to keep the peace, but I thought it was a ridiculous idea and not worth it. I told them it's just a table, not some cursed object. Who's really being haunted here? And so the story continued. Kayla and I are still in a light tension over the haunted table. I don't know how to convince her, or if I should just give in and get rid of the table to keep the friendship intact. What about you? Have you ever encountered something as strange as this? How would you handle a friend who thinks an item in your house is haunted? Feel free to share your thoughts below. If you enjoy these quirky, everyday stories, don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Echoes to watch even more interesting videos. Story 4. I stopped giving my co-worker a ride because he wouldn't lend me $1 for water. My name is Kwang, 32 years old, and the story I'm about to tell is one of those work experiences that I find both funny and at the same time painfully bittersweet. I work at a fairly large company, and over the past 2 years I've had this silly yet generous habit. I've always given a co-worker a ride home every day. It means I've been driving an extra 8-10 kilometers each day to drop him off because he doesn't have a car. I've never asked for anything in return. He's never paid for gas or at least bought me a coffee. I've just driven and he's just followed along and everything's been fine. I thought of it as helping out a friend in need without keeping score. Then one day I forgot my wallet and didn't have the $1 I needed to buy a soda from the vending machine at work. So I had to ask this coworker to lend me $1 for a moment. I was pretty surprised when he flat out refused. "Just buy it yourself, I don't lend money to anyone." That response left me speechless. After 2 years of spending quite a bit on gas and effort to drive him home, he couldn't spare a single dollar. I felt incredibly disappointed. And after work that day, I decided I wouldn't be giving him a ride anymore. I thought to myself, if he can't even share $1, how can I call him a friend? When I told him that I'd stop driving him, he called me stingy and petty. I smirked and thought, "Oh, you seem to enjoy the benefits just fine. Don't pretend to be upset." I don't think I was wrong to stop helping someone who didn't appreciate it, who couldn't even lend me a small amount like $1. Sometimes small moments in life clearly reflect the attitudes and values of a person. I want to ask you all, am I being too harsh for stopping helping him just because of $1? If you were the one receiving help without giving anything in return, how would you act? Do you think I should continue giving him rides? My story isn't just about $1. It's a lesson about giving and receiving in relationships. If you enjoy these everyday stories that make you reflect on the values around you, don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Echoes for more engaging videos. Story 5. My ex-girlfriend left me when she was pregnant. Now she's asking for my help with rent. Should I help? My name is Long, 34 years old. My story is a mix of emotions, deep hurt, and questions that are hard to answer. 3 years ago, my ex-girlfriend Thu decided to leave me just a few months before our wedding. We had been together for 5 years, and it was a shock that I never saw coming. Thu quickly moved in with someone else and almost completely cut contact with me, except for the moments when we had to divide our shared belongings and deal with issues related to the apartment we had rented together. At first, I was really heartbroken, feeling like I couldn't get through it. But I channeled all my energy into improving myself, focusing on my career and trying to forget the past. Now I'm in a much better place, both financially and emotionally. However, recently, Thu reached out to me unexpectedly. It turns out she's pregnant and was abandoned by her new partner when he found out. Thu is now in financial difficulty and asked if I could help with her rent. She said she has no one else to turn to and is only asking for help during this tough time. I have enough money to help, but I'm really confused, hurt, and somewhat angry. I don't understand why I should be responsible for her mistakes when it was she who chose to leave me. Some of my friends tell me I should help her, that 5 years is a long time and that there's still some love left, so I should be kind and assist her. But deep down, I feel that it's unfair for me to bear the responsibility for someone else's decisions. I also wonder, am I being too selfish for not wanting to help? Am I shutting the door on a part of my past? Some people might say I'm difficult or cold-hearted. But you know what? I've loved deeply. Before I've trusted and I've been betrayed. I can't forget the lonely nights, the times she shared about her pregnancy, and the plans we made together. Now she's coming back in a worse situation, and I have to decide whether to help or cut ties. I really need advice from you all. If it were you, would you help your ex-girlfriend in this situation? How do you balance compassion with fairness to yourself? Has anyone been in a similar situation? Please share. Thank you all for listening to my story. It's a huge lesson about forgiveness, endurance, and the strength to move forward. If you find this story meaningful, please hit like and subscribe so you don't miss other fascinating real-life stories on Reddit Echoes. Story 6. My boyfriend wants to share rent. After I quit my job, should I do it? My name is Lynn, 28 years old. The story I want to share today is about money, love, and the fine line between independence and cohabitation in a relationship. Recently, I inherited a considerable amount of money from my grandfather, over $4 million. This came as a huge surprise because I had no idea he had left me such a large asset. After receiving this money, I decided to quit the job I didn't enjoy and focus on my passions: painting, composing music, and playing games. I'm quite introverted and find happiness in doing what I love in the quiet space of my own. My boyfriend and I have been together for over a year and a half, and we live together in a rented apartment with a rent of about $200 a month. After I quit my job, my boyfriend started making financial demands. He wants me to cover the entire rent and bills, as well as start saving money together for the future. I understand that he thinks I have the ability to contribute more, but I don't feel ready to share finances completely. I want to maintain my financial freedom and independence until we're officially married. Each month I still pay half of the rent and hire a housekeeper to clean the apartment a few times a week, so our living space remains clean and comfortable. When I made it clear that he didn't have the right to demand my money when we're not married, yet he reacted very negatively, calling me selfish and unwilling to share. I was really frustrated, feeling like I was being taken advantage of. I think if he truly saw me as his life partner, he wouldn't make such a big deal out of money or expect me to cover everything. I don't know how to balance maintaining the relationship while keeping my financial independence. I want to ask you all, In my situation, am I wrong for sticking to this stance? Is my boyfriend being selfish and just trying to ride along, or is he justified in his request? In a relationship where we're not yet married, how much should we share financially? I would really appreciate sincere and practical advice from you all, so I can understand more and figure out the best way to handle things for my future. If you find this story useful and want to hear more real-life experiences like this, don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Echoes. Thank you all for tuning in to today's story on Reddit Echoes. Each story is not just a personal experience, but also a lesson, a reminder about the value of trust, forgiveness, and sometimes the strength to protect oneself. If you have similar experiences or thoughts about the stories you've just heard, don't hesitate to share them in the comments. I'm really looking forward to hearing from you and having some discussions. Don't forget to share the video, so others can hear these honest and meaningful stories too. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to hit the subscribe button to join us on Reddit Echoes as we explore everyday stories full of colors and emotions. I'm your name or nickname, and I'll see you in the next video with even more fresh and captivating stories. Wishing you all a wonderful day and always stay true to yourself.